Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Let's continue on with what we've been watching. We're about to get to the juicy stuff now. So if you've just joined me, what we're doing is we're assessing the body language of attraction and repulsion. It's what we do on this channel. Click subscribe if that's the game you're interested in now. The video is which guy gets the most girls. Girls rank guys by Riz, uploaded by the platform Jubilee. And now we're getting to a moment where it states the men will now demonstrate their Riz for the women to judge. So if you've just watched up until this moment, I recommend you watch the videos that have come prior. Okay, we've got some good mirroring going on here with the girls, all concealing their genital area, okay, blocking off access to their sexuality. All right, they're not going to jump straight into it. Not only that, they've obviously had some sort of build up. Perhaps they've seen the group of boys, maybe they've interacted with the group of men, but all we know is that they definitely identify who's coming up next. It's the pink shirt guy. He's on screen. He's walking inwards. They're all covering up their fannies, for lack of a better term, apart from this girl here who's closest to the camera. She's breaking the cycle by actually being comfortable, confident, and not following the crowd, okay? So, let's jump in, shall we? Oh, older men are coming in. Okay, cool. Older men are coming in. Right, let's get this advertisement out of the way. With these poor pooches. Alright. Right. So older men are coming in at once. What I noticed is as they come in, if you watch the girl closest to the end, she feels a little bit of insecurity. She nods her head in submission to the men, look. Which, you know, within reason could be a cultural thing, judging by her ethnicity, because we do know that some cultures, you know, act in a different manner as far as the relations between the sexes are concerned, all right? But that's, you know, the politics we're probably going to have to get into on the Patreon as opposed to the YouTube. So they walk in, and now look at the men. They're all doing the same thing. They're all bowing in submission. They all feel awkward. How weird is that? Yo, fellas, if you were on this program, what I would recommend is you walk with your head held high. Not to the point where you look pompous and prideful, but the bowing down of the head in submission, you know, I made it out that it was a feminine imperative, a submissive imperative played out by the woman on the side. The men are reflecting that like tenfold. It's not a good look, but we've got a couple of men still to walk on screen. Let's see if anybody breaks this cycle, because if you see this before you now, this does not look like a confident group of men. Would you agree? Would you agree? So if this doesn't look confident and comfortable, do you not think the women see that? Right? Do you not think you don't want to be this person? So don't portray yourself in this manner. Go against your nature to do so, okay? Right. I'd like to see how the rest do. So as they're walking on, we pan to the girls. We can see, you know, some degree of grouping between the girls. We've got a group of 2 and a group of 3 here. The lady with the red has released her hands. She is now not hand-holding herself, so she's easing into the situation. The girl on the left-hand side, who wasn't concealing herself anywhere, is applying pressure to her legs with the palms of her hands, okay? So when we're under stress and when we're, you know, feeling some degree of anxiety, there can be sweat that comes from the palms, right? This is called a palm cleansing behavior, where we rub the palms of the hands on our legs. You know, you'll see it with people sitting down. It serves not only as a pacifying behavior to stimulate the nerve endings and send positive feel-good hormones to the brain, but it also works functionally to rid your palms of the sweat. Okay, I'm not saying that's what she's doing exactly, but we can see that there is some degree of hand-to-body contact there, okay? Right, so I think all of the men have come in with their heads down. Let's watch. Let's pause. Look at this. Look at this. So the first 4 come in. They ease up. They raise their heads. Now as the other 3 come on, it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. This is why nonverbal communication is so important for you to learn. Because if you learn to identify the behaviors with one person, you're probably going to be able to apply and see it and observe it across the board, no matter where you go, generally speaking. The three who have walked on have come with their head bowed down. Okay? In this split screen, we can observe the lady in the leather jacket, the lady in the dark outfit, looking over either to the man in the pink or the tall man in the white shirt and the grey jacket, because he is looking over directly as well. Is there some low-key game getting run from the get-go? Have we got a bit of eye contact going on? All right. We see holding hands with the pink guy. We see holding hands with the guy next to him. We see holding hands with the guy in the white, who's actually been quite confident up until this point. Now the tables have turned, and now he's holding his own hand to comfort himself, right? Such as the child holds the hands of the parents. And these guys bowing their head in submission. Why do I mean you bow your head in submission? I mean you bow your head in submission because you take your eyes off of the threat to say, I trust you to the degree where you can do anything to me, all right? And what is low isn't high, and that which is low to the ground is a subordinate position, right? If you look at any hierarchy across the board, that which is powerful is at the top. That which has foresight is at the top. That which the woman want is the leader. The leader doesn't come from behind or the bottom. The leader comes from the front and the top of the leaderboard, right? You get where I'm coming from? Not really in many exceptions to the rule. Right. Tall girl here looks like she wants to break out laughing. She's holding back, right? Woman in the leather jacket is making eye contact, but that's a grimace upon her face. That's not an organic smile. Have you seen the way she looks? She looks disturbed to some extent, so I'm going to ask you, who is she looking at, right? I'm not going to give you my ultimatum. Black woman at the front, looking downwards to the floor in a submissive manner. I think she comes across as quite respectable, this lady here at the front with the pink dress on. Woman there at the end, such as the woman in the leather jacket, looking over in some degree of judgment, as we can see upon her face. Red girl looking to the camera saying, let's get this party started. But if you can see the tall girl, after, you know, paying attention to these girls who are looking over in some sort of disdain or horror to what they're seeing, the tall girl makes a little more sense as to why she feels like she wants to burst out laughing. What are they looking at? What are they seeing? What energy is catching on here? Pay attention. She's quite literally laughing at this point. She knows she shouldn't do so, and in not doing so, she covers her mouth, right? Because in the earlier videos, we spoke on eye blocking behaviors. This is a mouth blocking behavior. We don't want it to come out, so we're going to cover our mouth. This happens when you're lying and, you know, anything you don't want to hear or don't want to say, when we perceive that, we will cover up that whole situation there.
No, I was trying
So this is where these boys have got to hold it together, because if she's just burst out laughing, looking at them, that's kind of peak. You know what I mean? The men who have got a frail ego at this point are gonna start feeling some sort of way. Yeah, but minimize her. Yeah, if you're in this game, minimize her. Yeah. Have a look at who she is. Have a look. Do you want her? If you don't want her, accentuate and understand why you don't. It doesn't matter if she's laughing at you or not. You're a powerful man.
No, I was trying.
Okay. Let's keep moving, yeah?
So hard not to laugh.
Let's start with you.
Round one. Riz.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Holds her hand. Let's have a look at the handshake. So what we see in the handshake is... hold on. This might be interesting.
Let's start with you.
Round one. Riz.
Puts his hand out. You would think it was level. To an extent, there is a swerve in the hand, placing him in submissive position. So have you heard the term of having the upper hand? It's symbolic of dominance, right? If you're shaking hands with a lady, take upwards position, right? take upwards position. If you're shaking hands with anyone as to which you want to play this indirect power game, no, I'm not saying you want to be doing this, but this is the reality of it. Don't take the submissive position with a woman, because you're going to have a knock-on effect, right, where you continuously place yourself and pedestalize yourself below this woman and, you know, subvert the natural nature of how you do actually want to attract her. What you see is that she is amplifying her hip-to-waist ratio with the hands upon the hips, all right? Also making herself a little bit larger by having her arms akimbo, okay? Such as we spoke of the males doing before, okay? Making herself more visible in a way. She connects the hands. She takes the upper position, as I said. Not the best way to do things, okay? Not the best way, but so far so good, you know, generally speaking. I'm not saying he's letting the team down, but we're paying attention, right? So there you go. She continues holding his hands, and in doing so, she's got her hand performing the whole teapot body language, accentuating that hip. You're going to see women do this all the time. It's an overt display of sexuality because the arms also point an arrow to the genitalia. Okay? Let's keep going. Good eye contact as of so far. They've got 2 minutes, which is a crazy amount of time. He makes eye contact, and it seems like he's breaking to look down. He nods his head completely. Submission. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Now, you might come across as coy and, you know, shy and attractive, and that means it's not like you can't pull this off. You know what I mean? Watch any romantic film ever where there's, like, this coy, shy, you know, innocent man who's, like, the love interest. They do end up looking good. They have to be attractive to pull this off, right? But this guy's a good-looking man. In relation to her, you know, he stands tall. So far, so good. But when you break eye contact, never look down to the floor. Okay? Break eye contact side to side if you want to be neutral. If you want to, you know, show that you are... you know, at least in belief of your superiority above them, you look up. But I wouldn't recommend doing that, okay? Break side to side. Be respectful. He looks down. It's bad.
Let's see. We're at a bar, you said?
Let's go back.
Let's see. We're at a bar, you said?
He's stuttering and buttering. He's stuttering and buttering. We all do it. We all go there. But he's stuttering and buttering. He puts his head down to the floor. He starts stuttering and buttering. The intention is these girls are going on wanting to hear some Riz. All right? She's casting heavy judgment on him right now. The boys are casting heavy judgment. They're assessing how they're going to do in relation to this man, right? They're eyeing up their competition. There is a pecking order. They do pretend to be friends, but they're here for a reason, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, bar. I see you're buying a drink. Where's mine?
So he's coming out with the pickup lines. He's fucked it. He's setting up an imaginary situation, which I guess is good in a way, because he's stimulating her imagination and taking her to this fantasy plane. But what he's had to do in order to do so is ask and submit himself to the host of the show. He's not created his own path. He's not showcased the traits of a leader. What he's done is he's showcased the traits of a follower in submission to the script, in submission to the system. Right? Good boy. Pat him on the head like a doggy, all right? And what he's done is he's set up this the scheme, the pre-planned canned response, which is bullshit. It's bullshit. If he had Riz, if he had game, he'd just come in and just start rizzing her up, you know what I mean? And he don't even need to come with the pickup lines. He don't even need to come with the indirects. He don't even need to come with nothing other than the underlying baseline of traits and characteristics she looks for in a man, right? You learn that, you learn the principles, you learn everything in between. She'll say you're naturally funny. She'll say you got the Riz without you even saying a funny word, without you even being a comedian, without you even having to shit in your hands and clap like most of these men are gonna do, right? Let's keep moving. Well, actually, with that note, I'll see you on the next video, yeah? Let's see how he does. Catch you there.